I'm Renee.
And I'm Anthony, and we are the voices, channelers, and healers behind Blue Soul Earth.
We're very excited to be joining Anya and her team in Germany next July for the 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 conference. Our work is about accelerating consciousness one soul at a time and about balancing the divine feminine and the masculine coming together as one. We do this in many ways through our work. We do it through channeling, workshops, retreats.
We channel both Mary and Magdala and Yeshua of Nazareth, and we combine both of those energies, both divine feminine and divine masculine, come together as one. Yeshua is here to teach and to heal humanity as he once did before, and Magdalene is here to rise the feminine up from where it once was 2,000 years ago. Yeshua and Magdalene come together as divine feminine and divine masculine again, to teach, to heal, and to correct the wrongs of over 2,000 years ago.
The wonderful thing about the teachings that come through Yeshua and Magdalene when we channel them, whether it's through my writing, through Anthony in a full embodied way, which you'll experience in July 2026 in Germany when we're there, is that the teachings are really about that you are the guru that you seek outside. And yes, Yeshua is coming through with this Christ consciousness, which is this consciousness of divine love that every single person has within them, but he's coming through all of us in our own unique way. It's not something that we need to seek out there. It's within each and every one of us. And that's a core message that Yeshua and Mary Magdalene share through us again and again.
They also teach a lot about the quantum aspect of the soul, and that we are not just a part of God, but God is us, and that we are always manifesting ourselves in our own unique way each and every moment.
So as you can imagine in the work that we do, the Christos-Sophia connection is very much in alignment. The Christos-Sophia, you might want to even think about it as the feminine face of God or source or universal consciousness or whatever that is for you. In other words, we don't need to go outside to seek the inner truth. And I think this is coming up in many ways that you can see throughout society today globally. It's coming through movies, it's coming through books. In fact, we channeled a book about Mary Magdalene's life called Magdalene's Journey, the untold story of her life and teachings, which really weaves in together the teachings of Yeshua, the apostles, and even Lazarus, who comes through for a visit and explains his role 2,000 years ago, as well as the role of the Essenes. All of this is coming together right now, I think, because humanity is able to hear it in a fresh new way that hasn't been heard before. And it's really about restoring the truth.
And I think that what makes this conference so unique for this time is that Christos, which is the universal love, and Sophia, the wisdom of the woman, are finally coming together to rise. And this is what Magdalene is always speaking about, the ascension of the woman, the rising of the woman, in order to get to a point where both feminine and masculine come together as one. And they often speak of when the two become one, that is when you will know yourself. And this is exactly what's happening at this conference.
And I also believe that when we think about that balance and what that looks like for all of us, it's coming up to be healed by humanity at this time in our collective consciousness. And by that, I mean that, all of us carry masculine and feminine energy in each of us. So this isn't about female and male, it's about energy that runs through both of us, right? And it works through us, through our nadis, through our chakras, right? Through our bodies. In order to become balanced. And when we're in that balance, we're healthy, we're vivacious, living our truth, and we're speaking our truth. And that's really the message of our book, Magdalene's Journey. It's really about getting back to the core of who we are as spirit first and human second.
Exactly. As a collective consciousness, in truth, we are spirit form. And Yeshua and Magdalene will often talk about this human existence as nothing more than a perception of our own reality. and that we have the ability to manifest whatever it is that we want in this world. If we can see ourselves as a divine light that we truly are, then that is when we will truly have peace on this planet.
And we'll start to show up in a different way once we not just realize that, but embrace the fact that we are spirit first, that we are energy. I mean, you've often heard across traditions, right, the universal truth of Maya or the illusion. Our guides, will essentially say that it's more a perception in our making, as Anthony just said. But in that perception, we can create and co-create in every moment. We truly are manifestor beings. And so the question comes up to be answered at this pivotal time that we are working with in humanity as things are going through such huge global shifts politically, economically, socially, and spiritually, right? Everything's really coming up to be looked at with fresh eyes. And I think it's our moment to ask the question, how do we want to live our lives? Do we want to live our lives from a place of fear and divisiveness and polarity, or do we want to live our lives from a place of love, connection, and unity?
Magdalene's Journey really is a very unique book. It is a book that has been channeled, as Mary Magdalene has come through both of us. She mainly comes through me to speak. It is also a book that's been researched. Everything that Miriam has said, both Renee and myself had to research all of the information that came through. But what makes it really unique is that Renee created it into a novel about two individuals having this most incredible experience of both Yeshua and Magdalene coming through them to tell them their story.
It's a little bit of our story woven into theirs, but I think the most unique part, as Anthony mentioned, is that it's a combination of channeled work, fiction, visionary literature, and research as well. And one of the things that was uncovered, at least in the channeling portion, is the 7 female apostles that were written out of the history and holy books. And why that's important to bring up relative to this conference on Christos Sophia is that rise of the divine feminine, is the information that has been kept from us and really kept down by the patriarch. And so, of course, there were female apostles who followed Yeshua and his teachings. And in our book, we talk about their work, their contributions to society, and really their pivotal role in extending his original teachings, the Gnostic teachings of that time, right? That the kingdom really lies within. And it was a pivotal role that they had. And so I think that's a really important thing to acknowledge at this time as we're moving into this next cycle of this balancing of masculine and feminine energy.
I really think that Magdalene wants to tell her story about who she really was 2,000 years ago and how relative it is today and how the woman is rising once again. And she's all about the woman and being protective of the woman and allowing the woman to speak her voice. And I believe this conference, Christos Sophia, is about that. It is about the female rising. And that's what makes this book so relevant to the conference today.
And our work that we do through our own teachings, our membership programs, and of course our retreats. So, it's really about restoring the truth. And we are going to be in France this year in September. So if you want to join us, definitely reach out. We'll be doing a spiritual retreat with Magdalene, and we'll really be talking about those teachings and the Christos Sophia energy. And so I think it's really begging the question, you all who are listening, choose love and connection over divisiveness and fear.
For more information about our work, you can check us out on bluesoulearth.com or magdalenesjourney.com.
That last one is the book's website, and you can also go to studywithspirit.com for our meditations and our pre-recorded courses. And we are Blue Soul Earth on Instagram and pretty much on every other social media outlet. And for the jewelry lovers out there, we have a whole Magdalene collection of jewelry at the magdalenecollection.com if you want to check that out. And we really look forward to seeing you in Germany at this incredible conference next July.